So I did my final project on social media, and the images portrays mainly to young girls and to women. So I know that in class we went over the image it portrays in like magazines and advertisements and stuff, but I thought that it went a little deeper than that. So I mainly focused on Instagram, and I went a little further than just body image and like standards of how girls should look, because on Instagram it's not only that, but it's also like having the life of like being like rich and like going on vacations and having the perfect like family, having like the perfect life, not just body image. So but body image is still a very prominent thing in social media too. Like celebrities, like as you probably know, like Kylie Jenner and basically all the Kardashian people, they all use Photoshop. It's kind of common knowledge that celebrities do that, but it's kind of not common knowledge that people kind of fabricate their lives a little bit, make their lives seem happier and they seem richer. So for my objective research, so first of all, I thought about like when I was a younger teenager, I had Instagram since I was like 12 years old, and so I would see this on Instagram and think like, why doesn't my life look like that? Being 12 years old, and so that probably shaped how I thought about the world a little bit, through having Instagram at such a young age. And so I know that there are girls that are like 10, 11 years old that have it. So instead of, girls are more likely to be on Instagram rather than flipping through magazines, although that's still true that, you still see that every day. Social media is more of what teens are faced with nowadays rather than like magazines. So and sometimes images of these things, I know it's true for myself, they come through like their own circle of connections. I know people that I know them personally, and I look on their Instagram or their social media and just like, they're not like that in real life. They are not that rich. They are not that happy. So there have been times where celebrities have been I guess they'd be celebrities or influencers, have been proven that their life is fake. There was a story that came out recently where a Korean influencer, she was posing next to a car, and someone took a behind the scenes picture of her, and she did not look the same. She was not as skinny, not as small as she was in the picture. So, and to us, it's like to a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's common knowledge. Everybody knows that. But to a 14-year-old girl, they don't know that. I didn't know that at 14. So a researcher from Notre Dame University, she wrote an article about mental health and social media, and she looked into the effect of Instagram between the ages of 18 and 25. So the younger end of the age group, like 18, 19, 20, they were most affected by the body standards they saw on Instagram and social media, while the older end of the age group, 20, 25, they were more affected by the lifestyles they saw in the pictures. And she even used the phrase that they told her that they felt that their lives lacked meaning. There was a quote I found by Carmen Papaluca, and she said that, in other words, it's not just Instagram that is the problem. It's the social pressures put on young women that have been part of our culture for many years that are now becoming amplified by social media. It's not just beauty magazines, now it's all your friends. So it was bad before we had all this technology, but now it's even worse because it's right at our fingertips, and anybody and everybody can Photoshop if they want to. So there's also, so for media representation, I felt like there was a double standard. So I see articles all the time about how celebrities have been caught doing Photoshop in their pictures, and like they're like mocked for it. And so that's kind of like a double standard, because if they were to post the real picture, or supposedly, they would also be mocked just a little bit. So, you know, as a girl, as a teenage girl, to be caught using Photoshop would, you know, be humiliating probably, just a little bit, probably not always, but if you didn't but at the same time they feel like they need to use it because of the standard is so high in social media. So there's a whole lot of pressure because the media puts it on women to make their lives, their bodies look perfect. So the magazine 17, which is, you know, meant for teenagers or aimed towards older teenagers, they actually wrote an article taking celebrities and pointing out their flaws in Photoshop. So these articles could be considered good for exposing the fake, but like I said, it's still a double standard, and the media wants women to have perfect lives, but they also don't want to see the reality. So some influencers have fought back against this, and they will post like the before and after picture of their Photoshop. And they so a study done by Psychology Today found that when women between the ages of 18 and 30 years old felt most body positive about themselves and felt most positive about their lives is when they saw these images before and after. And they felt better about themselves when they saw the real image side by side with the fake one. And also, with social media, that puts another pressure on girls is they're obsessed with the number of likes a post has. So, you know, often, you know, the pictures that have, you know, that look pretty, that are like obviously edited, whether it's a filter or Photoshop, those, you know, that's obviously going to get more likes. So recently Instagram took they supposedly took measures to remove the likes from photos. So according to the PBS website, it was found that the number of likes triggered a reward system in the brain, causing people satisfaction and wanting more. So it's almost like an addiction almost. So the obsession with likes causes people to come up with new ways to make their post more interesting, whether that's, you know, making it more colorful, putting more filters, and stuff like that. So there's a YouTube video. It has like 13 million views on it, but it's called "Are You Living an Insta Lie?" and it's 3 minutes, and it basically goes through like people faking their lives on Instagram, while the next person who viewed the post, they saw their post and it showed them kind of like feeling bad about themselves, I guess, and they did the exact same thing. So although it shows both men and women using this, I believe that women are most affected by this. although it does affect everybody. So for my personal opinion, I know, like I've said before, that I have definitely felt the pressure of having an interesting life on social media. I still compare myself to the other girls I know that have prettier Instagram accounts and more interesting ones. I have about the most boring one on the face of the planet. But so I know a lot of girls that I know them in real life, and their Instagram page does not line up with their real life at all. So it's hard to not feel inferior to what we see online, and I still do, and I actually deleted Instagram. I'll do it on and off again, and I try not to be on it too much for this very reason, because I don't like to see that stuff every single day. I've kind of figured it's just not healthy. But I mean, it can be a positive thing. I do like, it's nice to keep up with your friends and stuff like that, but I do think the bad outweighs the good in some situations. So I don't think social media will go away anytime soon. It's so ingrained in our culture that it's almost like everybody has to have it to stay connected. But if those companies can take steps to minimize the effect it has on young people, like Instagram did with removing likes, it could help mental health. It could and body image for girls, and kind of lessen the stereotypes it has in this